Hey everyone, welcome back to Just Therapy UK. And thank you to everybody who is supporting this channel and joining in this channel. I'm loving reading the comments and your experiences. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about trust. I hear so often that trust has to be earned. So I want to talk and explore a little bit about this, whether you are somebody that goes into a relationship completely trusting, or whether you're somebody that actually completely is untrusting and does expect that person to earn your trust. So if you want to look at this a little bit more, if you want to explore this a little bit more with me, then like I say always, let's dive right in. So, trust. I would say that pretty much most people that watch these videos by now have had situations in life where they've been in a relationship where the person has abused their trust. They've done something in some way that has really deeply affected you. And then potentially you've then gone into another relationship with somebody, whether it be male, whether it be female, and you have really struggled to commit to a person because all you can feel hanging over is every time they do something that is similar to that person who was in the relationship with you before, and it brings up all of those residual feelings. And so you feel that you can't trust them. And then I also hear people say, well, trust has to be earned. In my opinion, this is deeply wrong and flawed, purely and simply because if you're going to go into a relationship with a brand new person that knows nothing about what's happened to you before, and if you don't trust them, that is unfair to them because they haven't done anything. So what you're basically saying is that you're kind of starting from the end and working back, because you're saying, I don't trust you, but you've got to earn that. Why do they? Why do they have to earn your trust? That's like them coming into the relationship with you, and imagine how that would feel to you if someone come in and said, I don't trust you, you have to earn that. Because a lot of the time we don't say it, we think it and we act it. So we don't say the words like, I don't trust you, you've got to earn that, but our actions in the relationship show that we are untrusting, whether you start checking someone's phone, whether you are questioning where they're going if they go out late at night, because in a previous relationship this person cheated on you, or they did something, and so you then question this other person for doing the same type of thing, even though they're not doing it. And this can create already an environment which is deeply unhappy, because you're not going to feel happy being this way. This isn't going to make you happy being this way, and it certainly isn't going to create the other person to feel that they want to stay with you, because this is probably going to bring up things for them. So fundamentally, in an ideal scenario, what you would want to do is, if you come out of a relationship or a friendship or anywhere where your trust has been broken and you have had some kind of trauma or abuse in some way, is to work on those things before getting into another relationship or friendship even. So if you can do that, then what that will allow you to do then is to really look at things from all perspectives. And not only that, look at where you enabled certain behaviors. Perhaps you're somebody that allowed certain things to happen because you were scared of the person leaving, or you were scared of whatever the outcome was going to be. And I appreciate there's always exceptions to the rule. So if you work on those things, and the chances are when you get into another relationship with somebody, there's still going to be some elements there and things are still going to come up, but you'll hopefully be in a place where you're able to talk to that person and say, look, you know, I have spent some time on my own. I have worked through some things. However, you know, there is a little bit of residual, like for example, if you don't text me back straight away, I might struggle with that. I appreciate that's a me thing, but I just want to let you know. And so then you're having this open communication with this person. And then the ideal scenario there is that this person is receptive to that, empathic, and it will help you and work through those things. Or in fact, they might come to you and say, you know what, I totally get that because I can feel a little bit like this. And then you've got this perfect scenario where two people have come together, recognizing their part in something, recognizing that they've got to work on those things as individuals, but you can still come together and also work on the things that might come up when you're a couple. If you are going into this where you are saying to somebody, you've got to earn my trust, or you're acting like that, what you're then doing in a sense is blaming this new person for something that's happened in a previous relationship. And that's not fair. If you think about that, even in any sense of the word, if you putting it on you for a second, if you were going into a relationship and then this person said to you, everything that's happened in my previous relationship is your fault, and I'm going to act the same way until you prove to me you're not like that, which is fundamentally what you're basically saying, but not saying. If you go into a relationship not trusting that person because of something someone's done in a previous relationship. So again, the best thing to do is to work on those things, or at the very least then go into that relationship and say, do you know what, I've been really, really badly hurt. This is kind of what happened. And I appreciate that there are going to be certain things that are going to come up. I know they're not your fault, and I'm going to work on these. And accept that that person might go, great, I'm happy to do that with you. Or they might not. And I think a lot of the time we don't do those things. We are not that open and honest in the beginning because we're scared. We're scared that, say, if we really find that person attractive, we really like them, that they're going to go, you know what, you're not for me, and they're going to go off. But if that's the case, then in a way you've got yourself an answer to the fact this person isn't right for you. If you go into any type of new relationship and you're expressing some issues that you've had, or you're wanting to be open and honest, and this person isn't receptive to that, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just might mean that they're not the right person for you. You know, you're looking for somebody that is a little bit more understanding. This person might want somebody that's literally got that has sorted everything out, and they don't want to kind of deal with any of that. And that's, again, doesn't make them wrong. It just means that you're not the right person for them. And so then what can happen is, if you haven't sorted those things out, or you go in and, in a sense, pretend that you have and you're absolutely fine, even when they're triggering you left, right and centre, but you're kind of putting on a front, when you relax into that relationship, you are then going to start being your real self. So those things will start to come out. Like, you'll start to get suspicious if they're going out late, whereas before you might have pretended that you're not bothered because you want to make sure that they like you. And so then you'll start doing those things because you'll think, well, I've kind of, we're in the relationship now, we've been together a few months, I can kind of relax a little bit into this. And then those things will start to come out. They won't stay gone. And so then what you've then done, in a sense, is sold this person a false sense of who you are. And then this person then would potentially get upset. And what can happen then is that then you will blame them for not being understanding, when really what they've seen 3 months prior is you being this wonderful, understanding version of yourself. And then suddenly not so much. And they're kind of like, hang on a minute, who is this person? The best thing in any relationship, as hard as what I know it can be, is, especially in the beginning, is be your true self. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're somebody that doesn't like wearing makeup, don't just suddenly start wearing makeup because you want to impress that person, and then 6 months into the relationship you're like, do you know what, I don't like wearing makeup anymore. But then you get upset when that person's like, hang on a minute, but that's how I met you. Now, okay, it might mean that this person is a bit superficial, but then that would also show you that perhaps this person isn't right for you. You know, we do a lot of this where we change a lot of aspects of ourselves because we want to impress the person that we're trying to get in a relationship with, or even a friendship. Sometimes we can do it with family members. We're afraid to be ourselves, and that comes from a lack of, from insecurity. Somewhere along the way, you believe that you need to, that who you are isn't good enough. So if you work on those things and trust who you are, then trust the fact that at some point you will find the right relationship. You will find that person that is right for you. And yet it might mean that you go through a few dates more often than you'd like, where people just don't match up, or they don't like you. And that's not something that, in a sense, is a personal attack on you. It's just that they, in a sense, probably know who they want to date, and you're not compatible to them. Or you might come across someone who is rude and is disrespectful. But again, that's on them. And why would you want to date somebody that felt the need to behave that way anyway? So when you go in with this attitude of, well, they got to earn my trust, ask yourself, if somebody did the same to you, if someone come into a friendship or relationship and said, you know what, I've been treated really badly, I don't trust you, and you need to earn my trust, what would your response be? Now, if you're somebody that would be like, hang on a minute, why have I got to earn your trust? I haven't done anything. then remember, if you flip that, then the other person is going to feel the same. And so then you've got to look at, well, okay, so why would I then go in with that same attitude? Or maybe you're somebody that goes, I don't mind having to earn somebody's trust. And that's okay too, if that's who you are as a person, if that's who you choose to be. So this is mainly for the people that have said to me, you know, trust has to be earned, and I'm giving that perspective on why I feel it doesn't. It isn't fair to then put your issues or things that have happened to you on a brand new person that is coming in. Treat that person with that respect that you would want from them. Treat that person with, this is a clean slate, brand new relationship. They haven't done anything for me to not feel like I don't trust them. Now then, if they do, you can then decide what you're going to do with that. And again, this also comes down to what you allow to happen will continue. So again, when I work with clients, I hear a lot of the time where they'll say, yes, but they've done this, and this. And I just don't understand why this keeps happening. Well, the reason it keeps happening, unfortunately, is quite simple, because you've allowed it to. And that's not saying that you are a bad person or there's anything in a sense wrong with you. It just means, unfortunately, due to whatever has happened to you, you have normalized this behavior and you've just allowed it to happen, or whether you are just very scared of them leaving or whatever it is. There will be various reasons why you have allowed this behavior to continue. And because this person has got no need to change, why would they, when they are able to kind of do whatever it is that they're doing and you still take them back or still forgive them? Why would they feel the need to change? For change to happen, they have to see that there is a problem and they have to want to do it. You know, they might look at it and think, I know this is wrong, but if they don't care about you or don't respect you, then the chances are they're not going to change what they're doing or saying. So again, it comes down to, in the very beginning, if you start to allow things to happen, and I can guarantee you that every time I have worked with somebody and they talk about somebody that has been abusive, no matter who they are, male or female, there were signs in the beginning. It doesn't matter whether people say, oh, there weren't any. Yes, there were. If you're really open and honest with yourself, there were things that they were potentially doing. It's just that maybe you just didn't notice it or you normalized it. And if you sit back later on and you look back, you will start to see that there was a point when something happened, they did something, and even if you brought it to their attention, somewhere along the way, you then accepted that, or you took them back. Even if you kicked them out at the time, you took them back, you forgave them. And what that can do, yes, it could mean that someone could change that behavior. Of course they could. People make mistakes. So they could have done one thing and changed that behavior. But the chances are, if you're going to therapy, the chances are this behavior has continued. So if you're somebody that is with somebody in a relationship and they have continually cheated, they have continually abused you, at some point in the very beginning, when they started to do it, that would have been the point where you said, I'm not putting up with this, we're done. Or if you don't change this behavior, we're done. And you mean it, because you have to say something, and think of it almost in a childlike way. Like when we reprimand children, when we go, right, if you do that again, the consequence is going to be this, and you stick to it. Once a child has that message of, I can't maneuver and manipulate my parents, the chances are they don't do it again. But when you do this, right, I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, what that sends that message to the child is, there's room for maneuverability here. I can manipulate. Or if they've cried and then they've got let off their grounding or whatever it is, that sends that message to the child that there is a way to manipulate the situation to get what they want. Well, adults are not that different. If you allow that behavior to continue, if you give chance after chance after chance, then you can't, in a sense, complain that they're still doing the very same thing that you don't like, because you've allowed it to happen. And that's not taking this responsibility away from them, because what they're doing is fundamentally wrong. Of course it is. But if you, like I say, if you allow it to continue, it will. So when those things start to happen, or they abuse your trust, or whatever that is, put that boundary in and say, right, if you do this, it's over. And sometimes you have to make a hard decision if they do something, because you might fundamentally love that person and they have hurt you. Now, that's not to say that they can't rectify their behavior. Like I say, I've certainly known people that have done something in relationships, but they've worked on it and they then go on to have a very healthy relationship, of course. But that takes work from both sides, not just you going, oh, do you know what? I forgive you and I'm letting you back in again. And then that person just acts as if nothing's happened. No, it has to, that trust has to be re-earned. And that is when you do have to then earn someone's trust, because you are the one that's broken it. So if you've broken that trust, it is down to you to create that trusting environment again. And however long that takes is however long that takes. It is not a case of, I'm sorry, all is forgiven. And so if you are somebody that is going through something like that and that person has broken your trust, yes, expect them to work on that. But whilst they're working on that, you work on you. You know, don't make it better for them. They have to make it better for themselves. They have to show you that you matter enough for them to work on that. Because if they don't, and there is not a consequence for what they've done, the chances are they'll do it again and again and again. So, like I say, if you're going into a relationship, think of it as a clean slate. Think of it as, I'm going to trust you, but if you break that trust, then we have an issue, and you can either work on that together to hopefully then heal that and go forward, or you decide this person isn't for you and you then decide to walk out of that and leave that relationship or friendship or whatever it is. You have the right to do that. But I will be doing other things. So I hope that this has made things a little bit clearer. But like I always say, please leave a comment below, because I love to hear all of your experiences and what you've the things that the challenges that you've overcome. And please remember, just because a lot of the things I say, these are from my own professional experiences. They might not be for you. It doesn't mean that you have to adopt the exact same things that I'm saying or doing. This has worked for me with my clients, but you might go to another therapist and they might deal with things very differently. It is what works for everybody. There is not one size fits all. I'm just giving you my thoughts and opinions on the things that I've learned along the way and the things that I adopt with my clients. So remember, this is not a therapy session. So if you have you don't agree, that's okay too. If you don't like what I've said, that's okay too. Just please be respectful in the comments. You have all been so far, but I just need to reiterate that. I want this to be a safe space so people can have those opinions and talk about whatever's been going on for them, and they feel safe to do that. So like I say, give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Please think about subscribing if you haven't already. If you would like to buy me a cup of tea, if you've got something from this and you want to just give me a little cup of tea or a cup of coffee, the link is in the description box below. If you want to email me, that's also in the box below. So in the meantime, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who is supporting my other channel. Thank you to everyone who's supporting my son's channel. And like I say, just stay safe, all of you. Just know how amazing you are, and I will see you in the next video. So take care. Bye bye.